Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today it's midweek Magic and we have the Brawl Builder Challenge, usually something that follows up right after the block constructed event. I wonder if I should keep saying block constructed since we don't really have blocks anymore. But this time it's Final Fantasy, plenty of legends to make Brawl decks out of. We're gonna keep it simple with Yuna because especially if you've been playing for quite a while, you would have a lot of the parts from previous enchantment-based decks. So we're pretty much carrying this over, though we are doing this with mostly enchantment creatures. So there are a lot of non-enchantment creatures that are really powerful, but for the most part, it's all enchantment creatures. We ha- we have a few enchantments that are not creatures, but a lot of them become enchantment creatures or are enchantment creatures at one point or another. Pretty much simple. I guess some key cards we'd have our say like Hallowed Haunting makes um Hallowed Haunting basically it's an enchantment check but also generates quite a lot of creatures for us. I could have run the other one but this one's cheaper. Then you got a few cards from Jumpstart. So Smelia, Malaysian Poet makes enchantment creature tokens and it does get the big buff, so it's pretty much one of a few ways of going white. Cetacean Champion's a classic, +1/+1 and draw a card. Let's see, what's another? There's also another one that was, okay, Starfield of Nyx. Pretty much a way to get back a lot of stuff. We're gonna be doing this quite a bit. We have Eidolon of Astral Winds. Pretty simple way of buffing some, because a lot of our enchantment creatures are pretty much on the low end. We also have Yuna as a way to to create additional copies. Actually, Defense of the Heart is nice, but we're not exactly running it to the fullest. So it's a nice way to get a Summon Titan, I guess. We could also get Summon Bahamut if I could put that on the top end here. But I'm resisting the temptation for now. I do have a copy of it. So it is something something worth considering. Yes, we actually do have colorless enchantments thanks to Final Fantasy. We're gonna be seeing a lot of decks that revolve around VV, so we'll see if we're fast enough or not. Guess we can give this one a go. I'm tempted to try to go for Sitis, or I could just. The issue is our opponent is signaling that they probably have a burn spell. I should have set that to green as well. Okay, no, they did not have the burn spell right away. Or if they did, it's not big enough to hit X equals 3. We could also just try to go for land since we're kind of a bit of a land heavy deck. Okay, we're gonna see if our opponent. Okay, they're just going for VV right away. Good instant. And oh yeah, I have a copy of Greater Auramancy to be extremely annoying. And this is Shroud, not hexproof, but there are still ways around it. But being unable to target is going to be an issue. So next turn we can. Now our opponents could still counter it, so our opponent might be going for that one. but we are kind of what are we looking for? We're basically looking for removal, I suppose. I could also just do Naturalist into... Yeah, start dropping a bunch of cheap spells. I'll also take note that we could still... So let's see how do we get around this. Yuna is a 3/5. This will eventually outclass it, so... Yeah, so our opponent's gonna be drawing quite a bit. I most likely play a bunch of these so that I can have a few chump blockers along the way. This is nice too. So we'll start to juke High Naturalist because this gives us a discount. And this is 3. No, so this will be 4 mana to bestow. But I probably don't want to bestow at this point. I could just play Parametra whenever it... Oh wait. Parametra is actually a good one if our opponent doesn't counter it. I think our opponent is going to try to counter it. There are a few counter spells. They might have a few counter spells, but this would be a creature spell, so Offer You Can't Refuse can't quite hit it. I think Swan Song can hit it though. No, they just went over it. Okay. So if our opponent can't answer the Greater Auramancy, we should be fine. If they can, then we will have to start considering. But at least having a nice 6/7, then we can probably just play Renata and start dumping our hand. I'm also tempted to just play Yuna so they can start catching up again. But take note that Yuna herself is quite vulnerable, so we need to be careful with that. I'm just waiting for the opponent to drop the ball and drop a really, really pricey board fight. Then, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile in return. Okay, they're one card short, but they can kind of do this. Ooh, they return all non-fire action creatures, but it also bounce BP. Yeah, if we can't, yeah, we really need to hit a removal for this. Now, I do have a few board wipes. Ooh, Aki's form is annoying. Okay, so you have... Yeah, so just basically just stack everything on VV. It's basically just stack everything on VV that we need to... We'll need to reset this somehow. This helps us because it will get us life. It will get us life. successor build. I'm willing to give these up just to get. Now Yuna brings it back with a finality counter, but it's still a bring back. I'll take it. I can also get back, say, a summon Fenrir to. Let's just get back into naturalist. So Shoopoof would actually be a decent combo. That said, our opponent is sitting on a lot of mana. We could probably lose this one, mostly off the back of not being able to answer this. Now this is a cast trigger. These two are cast triggers, so we'll still get those. I do like the idea of Torpor Orb, it just doesn't quite work on cast triggers. Now, they could copy Vivi with that. They probably should not. Now... Oh, they skipped it. I know. Oh yeah, did I mention that people are really boring when they have to play the One Ring? But it's there. It's tempting for me. I probably should put it. Also, to be honest. But our opponent did stop adding. We'll take the hit. Now the thing is that you gain protection, so I can't exactly attack into them. Yeah, I would need to draw into a proper answer. Let's start with the cheapest. And this is a creature spell, so maybe I should also start casting creatures as well. Now, they only have protection. Their permanents don't. I just need to find a way to snipe either the aqueous form, just the aqueous form for the most part. That will not do it. It's also quite expensive, so... Yeah, we're going for the discount, see? Might as well start digging up for lands. It does ETB tap, but it does help with right Shoopoof in this case. Oh yes, and because we can still target Yuna. There's one answer. Now I could just play this. The white insects are not enchanted. Okay, nice. Because it also phases out the... So I just need to get her to at least a 6/7 so that she also gets the lightning. Which is quite doable actually. No, but the lightning doesn't matter because they just... Yeah. can cast this one, but yeah, they still have protection. That's the problem. The idea is sound, but unfortunately, and this is spaced out too, so I would not have a real answer to this. It was worth a shot, but a bit unfortunate that our matchup is super boring. And they had this. Well, it is a good. It's probably an incentive to run even more removal spells. There are a lot of enchantment creatures I can conceivably cut for, say, Swords to Plow, etc. So that's something to keep in mind. I did just this one is the deck that I have is the extreme version of this. Pretty much a lot. Now this one we also have to be somewhat careful too. We really need to have a bit of a defense here. We are kind of slow on the start. We'll start. Yeah, we have a really slow start. Our best bet is Setessan into... if our opponent plays enough creatures, it's Setessan into defense. We are going to take a bit of a beating until then. Yeah, we definitely have to place a test in. Once, place a test in champion 2, and hopefully we survive long enough for defense to trigger. Thankfully, looks okay, taking 4. So probably want to play Renata next, just to have a sizable blocker. That's a question of otherwise do I just play, because I want to take, as much as I want to take defense right away, we're not. Oh yes, this is also another creature. Yep. And basically anything that generates trample. So, wow. Somehow I feel like it's gonna be really hard to. It's gonna be very hard to play a fair deck when those are the two that we're gonna encounter the most. We're gonna be seeing a lot of VVs and a lot of Tifas. I guess Kuja is also another one, though. They don't exactly have. Okay, let's see. 2 into... We're basically begging for another land. I'll take a free mulligan. This one is much better. Prairie has to come down first. Bamboo Grows is also a good option, but I would... play these two. If our opponent doesn't really do anything else, we just play Aiganjo. Unfortunately, our opponent did play something else, so... Yeah, I'm gonna shield. Now we have 1 shot of protection, it's not quite a lot. So this makes it into a... Don't want to risk it if I can help it. In hindsight, Shelter is quite powerful in standard, but I think I probably would replace it with something that is less vulnerable to creature removal. I might just take the hit. I may discard a card. Yeah, discard that. Turn that tap. Play the land. Yeah, I need to start gaining a bit of life just to be on the safe side. So this will flip. When it's taking the risk of our conflict. Yeah, might as well hit. Yeah, because a lot of these, well, this is a wizard, this is a warlock, so that doesn't quite count. I could wrath, but that is a waste. I could swing at this one, sacrifice this to give it protection, which is quite easy here. Let's see, this one taps is the exit. Oh, that's okay, that's quite a bit. Yeah, get back, I'll say it gives us another shot. See what our opponent hits. Land. Okay, lucky. Necro to... Okay, so we're taking 6 damage from that. And it's instant or sorcery, so... Now the odd trick is that I am will... Now this only gets back enchantment cards, so if I were to say block with restoration, going for the full load. But they do have a bit of a window where they can cast stuff. So this is where I see if they have the response. Nope. They could still have a response though. Also, it's ward 2 times 2, so it will have to be a very specific spell. Nope. I guess I could have swung with the rest, but I'm kind of holding back a bit. Alright, he's gonna go for the throat. Well, it's... I guess the idol of rhetoric also helps that. Well, now we're kind of shields. But yeah, we're gonna see how much damage we take off this. It's like each instant in sorcery deals 5. No. Oh, okay, they did not draw enough. Sorry, my bad. 2, 4, 6, 8. It deals 8. So it's actually quite explosive if it were not for the extra lifelink that we have. So we kind of got there barely. Definitely want to have more spot removal. So so that's something to really consider. Let's see if we. Okay, this is an auto-mull. We're definitely keeping this one. But again, this is a bit of a slow starter too. Technically, our opponent is also the slow start. We can lead on Septest. Whenever. Ooh, okay. We'll start with Setessan Champion. Then I'll decide if I want to do Hollowed Haunting or Enduring by Tap. So sacrifice to draw a card. Cool beans. Probably want another white. Well, this is whenever Calyx or an enchanted creature, so we'll save it for when we do have an enchanted creature. And this is an attack trigger, so they can attack the sack as well. You generally want to have other sack effects. Or at least a lot of ways to kill creatures. Which is more powerful for us? Yeah, we kind of need to draw cards. So that's 2 creatures down. And this is really annoying when it does flip. So if they have another kill spell and it just attacks, that... Nope, that's the 3rd time it resolved. They missed out, so I'll be lucky there. Delay it a bit and also draw. Let's just delay it a bit and also draw a card. Because they still have to spend mana to cast it. Woo! Yeah, like they're probably just they're most likely gonna just drop Sephiroth again. So what do we do? This is I kind of want to drop Karametra, but I would be I guess the snake with death touch thing. Okay, draw into a ranger class. I really should start trying to drop this one now. Okay. Okay, so I can now drop Bamboo Groves. Also a good way to start them searching. Oh, flipping lands like Lush Party. Definitely want to keep Starfield of Nyx. Now, black does have quite a few board wipes, so this is not the perfect solution. At least we have Starfield to start getting cards back. Yeah, everything having flying is yeah. Everything having flying is such a mood. I guess you can complain about our deck too because we were able to function without Yuna. Yuna was pretty much the backup plan. Let's do one more match. So we're not the starting player, so this will enter untapped. We get to play Daxos. We will eventually hit them Defense of the Heart. I guess we can just lead on this first. So Weaver of Harmony is kind of a nice start, but it probably gets burned out, so I'm not sure what to say actually. It's Lush Portico is always such a solid hit, and we will keep the land. Yeah, I guess we just lead off on Daxos. Like, they have removal, Also, Daxos is it does gain us quite a bit of life, which is quite relevant, but if you want to hit us, yeah, they will. We can untap it instead, but I don't get a real benefit from it. Yeah, we'll scrape. I think yeah, opponent needs to control 3 or more creatures. I don't know how close our opponent is to getting there. So maybe I hold off on defense for the time being. I start trying to play other things. We control legendary Okay, at least we're getting incidental life gain. It looks like our opponent is kind of stuck, so... Oh yeah, Yuna would be nice here. Oh wait. If they're just gonna start stacking things on Ember Heart Challenger, I might just consider... I'm not exactly doing anything else, might as well. And this only triggers if we attack with 2 or more creatures, so it's not quite right now. Also, the extra point of focus helps. Channeling this is also an option to grab more lands. The Greater Auramancy is Greater Auramancy is probably the biggest move for this deck. And the fight... Yeah, I'm gonna gain as much life as I can because I'm gonna eventually stop being able to do so. They're also not exactly playing that many creatures. I've also noticed that, yeah, with the VV deck, well, the Sephiroth deck would have had a lot of creatures. That would have made this one pick. The Black-Red deck probably would hit also. The correct pick here would be Mina Spirit because that's card draw. Once that vector copy activated, okay, so I can copy. So I'm actually quite close to just dropping this, so I might want to hold out on that. I can play this to prevent them from playing anymore, but I kind of want them to play the extra creature. Yeah, because they're playing it as a really relatively fair deck, so I really want them to play that third creature. I really should put those the Maha one. Also, I don't attack because yeah, I don't attack and I don't block. Sanctum Weaver to go with it. So this should put our opponent in a bit of a panic. Also note that we can. This is not an if you. This is an if an opponent controls, but not an if you do sacrifice. So we could actually copy the trigger. Yes, we're going to be taking a lot of damage here. I don't know if Rhetoric keeps our opponent from chaining a lot of spells. Yeah, so they can't exactly storm off. But yeah, I now wish I had the read. So what would I get? Definitely. Copy. what are the ones that I want to get? So we get those triggered. Never mind, opponent concedes. They're not waiting for us to resolve the second one. Yeah, that was a very brutal defense in the heart. I guess the opponent did not... Yeah, because we had gained quite enough life. If our opponent swung in, we would have just taken it and they would have just died right there. Okay, one last one. All in all, a pretty fun event. In fact, there are a few standouts. Actually, Joshua is also kind of a standout as well, if I'm not mistaken. What does this guy do? Discard 2, draw 3. Okay. So I guess I will keep this one. Blossoming Sands. Now we go for Fear Surveillance into Restoration. Everything enters tap. We are the starting player, so that could enter tap as well. So most likely I played this one as Restoration. No, we're looking to surveil something cheap. No, we need that. Like bestowing the Nyxborn Unicorn, Nyxborn Unicorn is quite nice. Alternately, okay, our opponent is doing something really interesting. We'll just discard this one because it's gonna enter tap anyway. Yeah, we'll go for Yuna. Nope, it's a condemn. So let's do a double check. It's a put attacking, so Flash Portico. I don't want to surveil that way. This is like this is really super random. It's not as powerful as Counterbalance because it shuts down. Because we want to shut down your opponent. Wind Crystal. Without this will ETB tap. Gain a life. So it's an enchantment I control. Also this does. So you're seeing if they hit 2. Nope, they hit a mountain. Shigeki is fine. Okay, so they finally play this one to discard 2, draw that many. It seems to be like a graveyard filler. Okay, definitely wants to go white with all that control. Oh, you should have also played. Yeah, we'll play this one. Actually, there's also an argument for just playing Yuna so that I can get the War 2, just to make it more expensive. Dawn of a New Age. Ooh, I meant to copy this one. Oh, we're probably gonna lose the Fear Surveillance. Oops, I kind of miscalculated this one. I meant... Well, I guess I'll play that one. Yeah, we give up the Fear Surveillance. Am I fine with that? This is meant to be card draw. And this one, yeah, flipping this for... Oh, this also... I can see the reason for this card ends. Hey, they're just gonna flip it, but they don't have the mana for anything else, so we can do some damage. Gain quite a bit of life. So let's see. Yeah, but they missed quite a lot. Let's see if they actually hit. Nope, they're gonna miss. I can swing with these just to get... It'll just end up trading for one of them, so not that great. Yeah, we'll pass. Let's get back here. Yeah, the Authority of Consoles is doing a lot of extra work. I'm expecting a board wipe at this point. Yeah, the Authority of the Consoles really just ruins it. Yeah. Yeah, boom. This is smoking.
Strike from the heavens.
Okay, so we now need to hold these back, but we probably should also ping this down, which might not be easy to do. So let's see. I can ping. It's about bringing this down, but I cannot take another set while with this here. looks like our opponent got us really good. Yep.
Dark days lie ahead.
So what's this one do? If one or more counters, no, we need to for a creature. If it's a creature card, put in graveyard. If I had been able to cast this, I would probably go. But alas, I could not. Needed that one bit of removal. Actually, now I need 2 bits of removal now, so that didn't quite pan out. And this just brings us back up to 8. And that's quite a good authority. Huh. I want to play the few weird cards, but that's that. I guess we can close this episode here. We got a bit I guess we were also quite unfortunate in playing Yuna a bit wrongly. At least we now know a few things about bestow and whatnot. That you only get it as an aura if you cast it for bestow, so you're pretty much meant to swing with it. So, but still getting the additional copies is quite good. We never drew our Guardian projects, but we were not hurting too much for card draw. Overall, I kind of like this one a bit. And I hope you guys will give it a try. That's going to be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.